The name Avril Lavigne probably rings a bell for anyone in their 30s, 40s, or even 50s. In 2002, she made a bold entrance into the music world with her signature tank top, cargo pants, tie, and Converse sneakers, a style as daring and unapologetic as her music. Avril wasn't just another singer, she was a pioneer of pop punk for an entire generation. Today, her influence lives on through artists like Billie Eilish, who once said, "Avril made me who I am today." Similarly, Baekhyun, a member of the Korean boy band EXO, revealed that the first album he ever bought was Avril's. But something strange happened between the years 2013 and 2015. At the height of her career, Avril vanished from the spotlight for several years. This disappearance fueled one of the most talked about conspiracy theories in the music world, that Avril Lavigne had died and the person we see today is a body double. Complete with evidence, this theory has become one of the most widely believed urban legends in the industry, second only to the claim that Michael Jackson faked his death. But what's the truth behind it all? Today, we're diving into the story of Avril Lavigne and the rumors surrounding her alleged death. Avril Lavigne was born on September 27, 1984, in Belleville, Ontario, Canada. Her father, a French-Canadian, named her Avril, meaning April in French, hoping she'd grow up as bright and lively as spring. Her mother, with English, Scottish, and German roots, nurtured Avril's early interest in music. Avril's father was a devout Christian, and the family often attended church together on weekends. When she was just 2 years old, she casually sang the hymn, "Jesus Loves Me." On the way home, her mother was stunned by her talent. From that day, the family nicknamed her the Little Singer and began nurturing her musical abilities. Avril sang day and night, even lulling herself to sleep this way, frustrating her siblings to no end. At age 5, Avril's family moved to a small town in Ontario with a population of less than 5,000. There, she had a carefree but unconventional childhood. Though she didn't care much for school and was often sent out of class for being inattentive, her parents didn't push her to focus on academics. Instead, they completely supported her musical dreams. Her father transformed their basement into a recording studio, buying her a microphone, a drum set, a keyboard, and several guitars. He even set a daily practice routine, telling her, "You're going to spend 5 hours here every day practicing." By the time she was 14, Avril was performing at local fairs, covering popular songs, and even writing her own compositions. In 1999, at just 15 years old, Avril won a radio singing competition, earning the opportunity to perform with Canadian singer Shania Twain. It was her first major performance, singing in front of an audience of 20,000 people. The success of this experience made her even more determined to pursue a music career. Not long after, her dreams started to take shape. In December of the same year, Avril was performing country song covers at a bookstore when talent scout Cliff Fabry happened to be in the audience. Recognizing her potential, he quickly contacted Arista Records president Reed and arranged for him to hear Avril sing. That evening, Reed, who had been in a foul mood all day, experienced a complete change of heart within just 30 seconds of hearing Avril sing. He was immediately struck. "Wow, I've never heard a voice like this," he said. And on the spot, he offered her a 2-album deal. However, the real challenges began after signing the contract. No matter how many musicians were brought in to create songs for her, nothing seemed to suit Avril's distinctive voice. The company wanted to mold her into a country artist, but Avril was determined to pursue a punk rock style. After a year of tug-of-war, both sides were frustrated, and Avril was on the brink of being dropped by the label. Fortunately, after many twists and turns, she found her perfect fit in June 2001, a music team called The Matrix. Together, they created several songs that finally hit the mark. By the end of 2001, Avril's debut album was nearly complete. The label suggested naming it after one of the tracks, Anything But Ordinary. But Avril insisted on a simpler, more laid-back title, Let Go. With cautious optimism, the label released the album in June 2002. To everyone's surprise, it became a great success around the world. That year, Let Go topped the album charts in Australia, Canada, and the UK, making 17-year-old Avril the youngest female artist to achieve a #1 album. By 2009, Let Go had sold over 16 million copies worldwide. The album's standout single, Complicated, resonated with listeners by calling out the hypocrisy and pretense in the world. Its lyrics, "Life's like this, why'd you have to go and make things so complicated?" perfectly captured the frustration of teenagers. Many young fans shared their connection with the song, saying, "We totally get what she's singing about." Veteran American music critic Tom Berman even went so far as to say, Avril defined the pop music of that era. Beyond her music, Avril's distinct style and personality also made a lasting impression. At the time, pop culture was dominated by stars like Britney Spears. Her sweet and sexy image, complete with schoolgirl outfits, short skirts, and cute makeup, set the standard. Avril, however, was the exact opposite. She always appeared tomboyish, with her signature smoky eyes, tank tops, cargo pants, ties, and Converse sneakers. Reflecting on her unconventional look, Avril once said, "I never wanted to be a normal person or live a normal life. I've always been that wild kid. Back in school, I'd even wrap candy wrappers in my hair, just to look weird." Avril's alternative style soon had people calling her the anti-Britney Spears. Many saw her as Britney's polar opposite, but Avril pushed back against these comparisons. Frustrated by the constant labeling, she explained in an interview, "I'm not made up, and I'm not being told what to say and how to act. So they have to call me the anti-Britney, which I'm not. I think that's very rude and very mean. I think it's a dumb game."
So they have to call me the anti-Britney, which I'm not. I think that's very rude and very mean. I think it's a dumb game.
In May 2004, Avril released her second album, Under My Skin, which once again topped the charts in Australia, Canada, Japan, the UK, and the US. The album's Chinese title translates to "cool to the bone," and Avril's style evolved to match its edgier tone. She traded her signature skater look for a black ballet skirt, adding a fresh layer of individuality to her image. In July 2006, at the height of her career, Avril married Derek Whibley, the lead singer of the Canadian punk band Sum 41. The two had met when Avril was 17, started dating at 19, and tied the knot when she was 21. Everything seemed smooth and perfect, and her newfound happiness clearly influenced her creative style. In April 2007, now married, Avril released her third album, The Best Damn Thing. Its most popular single, Girlfriend, had the bold and cheeky lyrics, "I don't like your girlfriend. I think you need a new one." Avril's confident and playful delivery struck a chord with audiences, making the song the most downloaded single globally that year. The music video also became the first to surpass 100 million views on YouTube, cementing her status as a global superstar. On the album cover, Avril had a completely new look again. She dyed her hair blonde with pink highlights and adopted a more traditionally feminine wardrobe, sporting tight jeans and high heels. Soon after, she appeared on the cover of Harper's Bazaar. When people asked about her change in style, Avril responded, "Ties and tank tops can only be trendy for so long. I'm an adult now, and everyone goes through a lot of changes between 17 and 21. On October 9, 2009, Avril chose to end her marriage with Derek Whibley. Given Avril's bold and flamboyant personality, many assumed the divorce would turn messy. But the split was surprisingly amicable. The two maintained a good relationship and even occasionally collaborated on music after their separation. In the years that followed, Avril continued releasing music, launched her own line of perfumes and clothing, and also set up a personal charity foundation, the Avril Lavigne Foundation. However, in 2013, Avril suddenly disappeared from the public eye without warning. At the same time, a bizarre conspiracy theory began circulating online, claiming that the real Avril had died and been replaced by a lookalike. The theory originated in 2011 on a Brazilian blog called Avril is Dead. According to the blog, Avril allegedly died shortly after releasing her debut album in 2003 and was secretly replaced by a doppelganger previously hired to divert attention from the paparazzi. The blog offered various pieces of evidence to support this claim. For example, they pointed out changes in Avril's skin texture and tone. In 2003, her skin was very fair and smooth, but by 2010, it appeared redder and rougher. They also noted that a mole on her arm had mysteriously vanished, and that her nose seemed to have changed shape, from a wide nose to a narrow and straight nose. It seems the blogger wasn't aware of the wonders of makeup and microsurgery. Another point was the drastic change in her wardrobe compared to when she first debuted. Avril, who had once dressed in tomboyish and edgy outfits, now often appeared in dresses, including some that were sweet and cute in style. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence, according to the blog, was the title of Avril's second album, Under My Skin. They interpreted it literally, claiming that it obviously implied a new Avril hid under the skin of the original. The album cover, with Avril's name written in black, was seen as mourning for the real Avril, while the red cross on the shoulder of the new Avril was seen as a cryptic sign of her replacement. So, who is supposedly playing the new Avril? The answer: Melissa Vandella. This name originates from a photo Avril herself posted, where she had written the name Melissa on the back of her hand. Here's the full story. After Avril debuted at just 17, the sudden fame overwhelmed her. To cope, she reportedly hired Melissa, who looked strikingly similar to her, as a body double. Avril even taught Melissa how to sing, and the two became close friends. Then, in 2003, Avril was devastated by her grandfather's passing, and in her grief, allegedly took her own life. To keep their profits rolling, her record label allegedly decided to replace Avril with Melissa. Sounds like a plot ripped straight from a tabloid, doesn't it? At first, the conspiracy theory didn't gain much traction. That changed on October 1st, 2015, when Ryan Broderick, a reporter from BuzzFeed, stumbled across the story through a Brazilian friend. Finding it amusing, he shared screenshots on Twitter with the caption, "There's a Brazilian conspiracy theory that Avril Lavigne died and was secretly replaced." Unexpectedly, many people took it seriously, and the rumor began to go viral. Broderick later wrote an article titled, "Here's How I Accidentally Made an Old Avril Lavigne Death Hoax Go Viral," to demonstrate how effortlessly an internet conspiracy can spiral out of control. The rumor proved remarkably resilient. Not long after, fans analyzed Avril's singing clips from different periods, claiming that the new Avril obviously sang at a noticeably higher pitch than before.
Driving in your car, driving in your car.
Over time, more evidence surfaced, and the theory continued to spread. Some people compared Avril's handwriting from earlier years to more recent samples, and claimed there were noticeable differences in her penmanship. Others speculated that she died in a skiing accident while vacationing with her family, even specifying the location as the Whistler Blackcomb Ski Resort, 125 kilometers north of Vancouver, Canada. With such elaborate details, it's no wonder the rumor continued to spread. Although Avril has repeatedly addressed the rumors, assuring fans that she is alive and well and that these stories are nothing more than baseless internet gossip, many remain unconvinced. They point to her nearly 2-year absence from the public eye after releasing her 5th album in 2013, insisting this was proof of the body double theory. It may sound silly, but it does raise the question, what was the reason for Avril's disappearance? On April 16, 2015, after more than a year out of the public eye, Avril appeared on Good Morning America and revealed for the first time the real reason behind her disappearance. She had been battling Lyme disease, an illness many people know little about. Avril recalled waking up one night in April 2013, drenched in sweat, with swollen muscles and a low-grade fever. Assuming it was the flu, she took some medicine to relieve the symptoms and didn't think much of it. However, her health quickly deteriorated. She became constantly fatigued and listless. At her worst, she couldn't move or even muster the strength to speak. She spent 5 long months bedridden, at one point going an entire week without showering. Avril felt like she was dying. During this time, she saw countless doctors, but they misdiagnosed her with depression or chronic fatigue syndrome. Some even dismissively said, "Avril, why don't you just get up and play the piano?" as if trying to provoke her into action. It wasn't until late 2013 that a friend, familiar with Lyme disease, suggested it might be the cause. Avril visited a specialist and in December 2013 was officially diagnosed. By then, more than 6 months had passed since the infection, and she had missed the critical window for early treatment. Looking back, Avril remembered being bitten by a tick during an MV shoot in the spring of 2013, likely the culprit behind her illness. This brings us to the question, what exactly is Lyme disease? Lyme disease is a bacterial infection caused by Borrelia burgdorferi. Mice are its natural hosts, and it's transmitted to humans through tick bites. In other words, people usually contract Lyme disease after being bitten by an infected tick. Fortunately, the disease cannot be transmitted between humans. You might wonder, since Lyme disease is just a bacterial infection, shouldn't it be easy to treat? After all, antibiotics have been around since the early 20th century. And while antibiotics are highly effective in the early stages, untreated Lyme disease can lead to severe complications. The bacteria, Borrelia burgdorferi, can invade tissues and in severe cases attack the nervous system, requiring months or even years of treatment and recovery. Some patients may also develop immune system disorders. The early symptoms of Lyme disease usually appear 3 to 30 days after a tick bite. At this stage, symptoms are limited, with the most distinctive being a painless, non-itchy rash called erythema migrans. This ring-shaped rash resembles a target or bullseye, with a large red circle surrounding a smaller red dot centered on the tick bite. Other common symptoms include fever, headache, and fatigue. Without timely treatment, symptoms can progress to heart palpitations, numbness in the limbs, or even facial paralysis. In some cases, patients develop chronic arthritis that is difficult to cure. Even after proper treatment and the bacteria's complete elimination, about 10% to 20% of patients continue to experience joint pain, muscle aches, headaches, and fatigue. This is due to immune system dysfunction caused by the disease. Once the bacteria are gone, the immune system begins attacking the body's own tissues and cells, a condition known as post-treatment Lyme disease syndrome. Because ticks are so small, many people don't even realize they've been bitten. Combined with the fact that Lyme disease symptoms mimic those of other illnesses, it's often difficult to diagnose. The true danger lies in its lingering effects and high misdiagnosis rate. Even celebrities aren't immune. Besides Avril Lavigne, Canadian singer Justin Bieber has also been a victim of Lyme disease. After Avril's diagnosis, she returned to Ontario, Canada, to live with her family and stepped away from most of her work commitments. Despite the pain, her struggle with the illness gave her a deeper understanding of the meaning of life. As she began to recover, Avril recorded the promotional song Fly for the 2015 Summer Special Olympics. The song reflected her inner realizations, with lyrics that say, "So don't you ever say you're giving up? No, there's no looking back, 'cause we were all meant to fly." One night, Avril felt as if she was on the brink of death. At that moment, lyrics began flooding her mind, reminding her that music still lives in her soul. She got up and immediately started writing the song, Head Above Water. The song is a powerful expression of the desperation and hope of someone struggling to stay afloat. On September 19, 2018, having won the battle against Lyme disease, Avril made her comeback with her 6th album, titled Head Above Water. Within hours of its release, the album topped the iTunes charts in 34 countries, boldly announcing Avril's triumphant return to the spotlight. Just before the album's release, Avril wrote an open letter to her fans. In it, she said, "I have decided to be truthful about my struggle, open and more vulnerable than ever before. And to be honest, part of me doesn't want to talk about being sick because I want it to all be behind me. But I know I have to. Because not only is it a part of my life, I need to bring awareness to the severity of Lyme disease. A single bug bite can fuck you up hard. I'm taking my life back into my own hands and doing what it is I know I am meant to be doing in this lifetime. Making music. And sharing my healing and hope through my music. I wish for this all to touch you, to bring you strength, to lift you up, to inspire and to encourage you." In October 2019, Avril took an unprecedented step to connect with her fans. She posted a video on Twitter, sharing her phone number and inviting fans to talk to her about anything, her music, concerts, or even her illness. Fans were stunned. One fan shared that he tried calling and heard Avril's voice on the line but was so overwhelmed he couldn't say a word. Returning to the stage, Avril still carried the energy of her 17-year-old self with her signature smoky eye makeup and edgy style. Though she appeared tough, her gentle heart still shone through. After divorcing Derek Whibley at 25, she went through another marriage and divorce, along with several breakups and reconciliations. Yet, she avoided dramatic headlines and remained lifelong friends with her exes. Interestingly, her latest album was recorded in her ex-husband's studio. Her fans once shared their thoughts on Avril's journey and said, "She's faced illness, failed marriages, and a decade out of the spotlight. It's a story many of us relate to, graduating, working, buying homes, raising kids, struggling with jobs and mortgages." But then she returned, with new songs and the same confident spark she had at 17. She hasn't been defeated. Despite everything, she remains true to herself, shining brightly. That's what makes her a true icon. Everything seems to have changed. Avril, once the idol of countless teens, is now 39, and her earliest fans have grown up, juggling work and family life. Yet, in many ways, nothing has changed. Avril still rocks her signature highlights, wears the clothes she loves, and sings the songs she wants. Her fans? They're still here, listening to her music. Today, Avril's hit song Complicated has garnered 750 million views on YouTube, with new comments appearing every few hours. Some call it the most 2000 thing ever, while others describe its timelessness, saying, "It's 2024, and it's still fresh." As listeners revisit the song, they're flooded with memories of the early 2000s, a vibrant young artist, a raw but authentic era, and their own rebellious, optimistic youth. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. See you in the next one.